afternoon, everybody.
Hi there.
Thank you for joining me on this reminiscing fourth trip to Iceland, the land of fire and ice. Let me tell you that I'm a Rossford native originally, always lived in Northwest Ohio. I volunteer for both MetroParks and Wood County Parks. I'm a walker. I'm an MVA member. I like to bicycle and have 2 Yorkshire Terriers, and we went on a 2-mile walk before this time also. So let me tell you, Iceland is open for those who dare to be different and want their holiday to be an experience, who want to take home more than a suntan from sleeping on a beach. In Iceland, you get a suntan from hiking the mountain trails, exploring the wild nature, the waterfalls, glistening glaciers with their ice caves, or bathing in geothermal pools. Since its settlement, Iceland has been a country for the adventurous. Maumee Valley Adventure. Willing to brave tough conditions. Their stories are chronicled in museums around the country, dramatic stories brought to life in varied and unique presentations. You'll also find the history of the pharaohs in that country. Healthy living is important, and restaurants reflect that in their menus. Whether fish straight from the boat, vegetables grown in geothermal hothouses. Geothermal. Can you even remotely imagine that the heat automatically comes from underground volcanoes? Geothermal. Or using nature to create supplements or skin creams, and they are fabulous. Think the waters of the Blue Lagoon, which was established to treat psoriasis. And remarkable, remarkable research comes out of that place. Icelanders have taken the best and made it better. Art and culture have generated innovations in design, clothing, jewelry, and much more. Yes, indeed, my hubby and I have been to Iceland 4 times. These pictures are from trip number 4, from July 15th, starting July 15th of 2022. So are you ready? All right, I got it. This is the city of Newark from the airport waiting area. And I liked the sun shining on the buildings. And I will tell you that it's only a 6-hour flight from New York. So you don't have any excuses. You don't even have to go to the bathroom in those 6 hours. So hop on board. This is a hardware store. This is Main Street, Reykjavik. And I took this picture because my hubby and I were walking different directions, and he wanted to know the address, and that's the street, Lagavador, whatever. So he could find where I was, where the hardware store was. This is in Reykjavik. Reykjavik is the capital of the country. It's home to 65% of the population, about 387,000 people, which is the most sparsely populated country in Europe. It's a bristling place of rich culture, shops, restaurants, historic sites, including the Hofte House, where Reagan met with Gorbachev, October 11th, 1986. That made news big time here, if you can remember that. And museums. And believe it or not, Reykjavik even has a penis museum. Yes, I said penis. It's called the Icelandic Paleological Museum. And it is quite the attraction. And there's also an Eldheimar Museum for experiencing the volcanic eruption of 1973 that literally buried the entire town during the middle of the night. This is 2 pictures of probably one of the most photographed churches in Reykjavik, and that's Leif Erikson. a gift from the United States for the 1,000th year anniversary of Iceland's parliament. This is a geyser and a geothermal field. Only about 15% of totally energy consumption in the country is from fossil fuels. Only 15%. They use fossil fuels for transportation and industry. Iceland literally suffers minimal environmental pollution. This is some of the common flora. Others include common hardell, English wild thyme, Nootka lupine, common laburnum, creeping buttercup, and garden angelica. Aren't they pretty? And the country is very contrasty because there will be fields of grass and then fields of nothing but cooled lava rock. This is the countryside, and these are obviously meadows away from the volcanoes. Iceland looks like a lonely little island in the middle of the North Atlantic Ocean, but don't let the size fool you. The hyperactive island is graced with the wonderful, diverse landscape of mighty rivers, fertile valleys, majestic glaciers and mountains, active volcanoes, ancient lava fields, and desolate highlands. Iceland is on the mid-Atlantic ridge of two shifting continental plates, and I have a slide a little bit later on that will show you the bridge between two continents. Helka, as beautiful as she is, was once thought to be the entrance to hell. Other volcanoes include, and there are several, and I can't pronounce any of them. So they're all in the south and have all erupted within the last century. And I've got a couple of dates that I'll give you in just a little bit. And many, many, many films, and I'll share that with you in a little bit as well, have been filmed from Icelandic craters and inactive Icelandic volcanoes, including Journey to the Center of the Earth. Meltwater from the glaciers feeds rivers and creates beautiful waterfalls, which are visible all over the country. These are all spring-fed rivers. The water is delicious. They don't have to send it through a purification plant. They literally just bottle it. Geothermal energy is harnessed for heating buildings. Their water is hotter than you can imagine, let me tell you. And they have all kind of caution signs because you are literally getting the hottest water possible at no cost. So, almost 90% of Icelandic homes are heated that way. Icelandic people are a hardy bunch. They are very family-oriented with a very strong work ethic. Common on the meadows are Icelandic horses. They don't like being called ponies, although they are smaller in stature. And the unique feature about Iceland horses, they have 5 gaits versus 3 that normal horses have. On one of our trips, we actually went to a horse farm and were given a demonstration of all the different gaits that they have. Once they are exported from the island, they can never come back to the island. They are absolutely the most 100% purest bred mammal, and they have absolutely no diseases. So if ever you want something to look up Icelandic horses. It's amazing what they can do. Waterfalls. This is from glacial melt. Notice the walkers? Adventurers. Okay? Yeah, I didn't go that far. I didn't go down there. And you can just keep going. You can literally walk up anything. So if there's not a posted trail, make your own. So is it a country of hiking? Yes. Waterfalls. This is part of the Golden Circle Tour. This is the Gullfoss waterfall. It's the most famous. The river Hirita drops 96 feet in 2 waterfalls. So it's pretty impressive. All right, why is it not? Okay, just another picture. Are they close? You betcha. And I don't think there's a guardrail.
Yes, there is.
There is? Okay. There isn't always. Anthony, this isn't working for me.
I'll
This is a hissing spring, and you can literally walk right up to that hot pot if you're foolish enough to do so. There are all kind of signs about warning about burning and blistering because it's extremely hot. But there are just fields of these all over everywhere. Again, geothermal activity. This is a cotton on a stem, is what I looked up. Now I need to go back.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Areophorum angustifolia.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a common sedge. It's all over Iceland and it grows in marshes. I just thought it was extreme. I've never seen anything. Have any of you ever seen this before? I've never seen anything like this. So I'm also an Ohio certified volunteer naturalist, so I'm interested in this kind of stuff. All right. This is Volcano Scaly. This volcano actually erupted in March of 2021. We were here on 7/18/22, and I didn't walk all the way down. People were actually walking. The bus was parked pretty far away, so across the parking lot, across all this landscape, and people were actually walking across. They were walking across this lava field. Yes, you could actually walk on it, and the lava was still warm.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and this was from March of 21. I will tell you, news was made August of this year, August of 22, this past August, that this same volcano erupted again, and so there was even more lava. And it was, if you watched the news at all about that eruption or saw the news, people were literally walking up to the fiery lava flows, taking the best pictures, of course. Yeah, this was in a remote area, so it wasn't near any buildings or any people, but not too far from the airport, Keflavik Airport. But yes, people were walking on top of it. This obviously was previously farmland, and now it's not. Pretty cool, huh? No, actually pretty warm. Yeah, you can see that it was rocky terrain, and I didn't want to go down on my backside, so I didn't have my walking sticks with me. I decided not to do it. This, I think, is just a clover kind of a plant. I thought it was interesting that anywhere you can squeak in a couple of pieces of grass and flowers, that's where they would be. Look, this is right next to rock, so. This is Brimkatil Lava Rock Pool, and this is from volcanic eruptions. All the black stuff that you're going to see anywhere, beaches, fields, is all lava rock. So that's kind of interesting. You know, we might see clay here, or granite or slate, or our own rock formation at Sawyer Quarry or whatever, but this was all lava. All lava. Look how blue the water is. This was interesting. This 5-foot-tall bronze bird is a memorial to a species that was hunted out of existence. The bronze statue of the now extinct great auk overlooks the impressive sea cliffs where these birds once nested. This is on the Rikinges Peninsula, and the statue stands about 5 feet tall. You can see that person standing next to it. Definitely impressive. This is the first bird to be called penguin, although these birds are not related to the penguins of the southern hemisphere. It bred on isolated rocky islands with easy access to the ocean for food. The last one seen about 10 miles offshore on July 3rd, 1844. So this was just a statue to the memory of that early penguin, if you will. Yeah, you can advance it. Again, more rock formations. This is a lighthouse. And I'm not even going to try and butcher it. The oldest lighthouse in Iceland on the tip of the Reykjanes Peninsula. It was first built in 1878, destroyed by an earthquake. The current building was raised between 1907 and 1908, with gas installed in 1929. Pretty impressive. And you can walk up to it if you want to walk through the rock up the hill. Aha, the bridge between two continents. People actually stand down underneath the bridge and hold their hands up like they're holding up the bridge between two continents. Connects North American and Eurasian tectonic plates. It's 50 feet over a major fissure. Symbolizes the connection between Europe and North America. I'm surprised they don't have people. Is there people on the bridge? That person? Yes. Bridge between two continents. Ground lava. This was our ship for our cruise. This was a circumnavigational cruise around Iceland. Had a little snow in the mountains, beautiful weather. This was obviously summertime, mild temperatures. We had spring coats on, didn't really get cold. We only had one day that we had to use the umbrellas. So pretty nice weather. Pretty daylight most of the time in the summer, kind of like Alaska. This port where we stopped was one of the oldest settlements. And you can actually, there are all kind of trails that you can take, hiking on your own. And that's just a sign about hiking. Now, I don't know about you all, but I kind of like it with trail markers and about this wide and show me where I need to go, just to turn me loose in something like that. But there were people out there that day.
Practice.
Yes.
You just said it was Northern Lights. Now, you want to be able to see them this time of year?
This time of year, yes. We've actually been there. We went in February one year specific for Northern Lights. The Northern Lights are always shining, but when the sun is up and the daylight hours are longer, that's why you can't see it. So you go there. Winters are pretty mild. I actually have on my phone their temperatures all the time, so I just like to keep track of what the weather's like there. It's pretty temperate. It'll get up to 70, but most of the time it's 50, 60 degrees. It's actually been warmer there winter-wise than it has here already, maybe not this past winter. But yeah, you can go in when it's dark and quiet here and you can't do anything else, make a trip there. And when they do the Northern Lights, if it's like a 3-night stay, they will take you out every night until you see the Northern Lights. So if you see the Northern Lights the first night, you go out on an escorted tour and it's with people and you're all taken care of, then they don't take you back out. City is extremely safe to walk in. City tours are available. Go on the website and see what you can get for your buck, because you will not be disappointed. Yes, sir.
It's still very windy there. I remember when I was there, it was so windy the airplane wouldn't start. It was on a Navy base, and we needed help, whereas in the Air Force, the Navy didn't like it. They came out with a tow truck and turned us around, and they said, try it now. Well, with reciprocating engines, it was blowing so hard, it was blowing up the exhaust and blowing the fuel out of the combustion chambers before they turned us around and started.
I think it was windy yesterday here than I've ever experienced in Iceland. Yes, ma'am.
Are you allowed to tour the interior of the lighthouses?
You know, I didn't ask that. They had signs up. I'm not sure you could go in them during a designated tour time. Yeah.
Are there no trees in Iceland?
No trees? Oh, there are plenty of trees. I actually have pictures of a lilac bush in Iceland. I was so excited. Lilacs are my favorite shrub, tree, whatever. And I actually have an Icelandic lilac, so. Yes.
Did you ever, in your 4 trips, travel independently versus a planned tour? And if so, is Iceland easily navigable?
It is easily navigable.
On your own. Have you ever done it in?
You can actually, no, but Gate 1 does offer independent tours. So they will take care of you for some things and then you're on your own for others. We've had free time and we actually rented Segways to do a Segway tour, and you can rent bicycles in Reykjavik, and you know, so we've taken advantage of free time and done things on our own.
All 4 of your trips or with Gate 1?
You can do a volcano tour where you actually go down into a volcano. You know, you can do glacier tours, walk on a glacier, or the snow cats, or whatever those things are. And there are so many things you can do. Definitely not wanting. Is it terribly expensive? I mean, I don't think so, but, and I'm also a simpler eater. I'm vegetarian, so they have a lot of vegetarian options. I don't think it's any more expensive food-wise. I mean, it depends on what you want. If you want gourmet meals in fancy restaurants, then yeah, they have benchmarks there, you know, or Nancy's, you know, those kind of places. So.
The cruise you took, was that through Gate 1?
No, the cruise was through Gohagen out of Chicago. It was one of my hubby's alumni association tours, and there were multiple colleges on this same tour. But that was through Gohagen, Gohagan, out of Chicago.
Would you recommend the cruise
Oh,
that
yeah,
you did?
yeah, it
As
was
opposed to
fabulous.
doing land?
I don't think you can ever get too much Iceland, and I would go back again. So I just don't think, every time you go, I'm a different person, it's a different experience, it's today, it's now, and for $599. Yeah. Iceland or Disney, let me see.
Because your Arctic Circle, was the day very long or very short, or just like a normal day?
That was July. Well, we were only there a designated amount of time. I think it was a longer daylight hours at that time. Yeah,
Did you have jet lag when you were there, or just too short?
6 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, there's too much to do. Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Was that auk life-sized?
5 foot.
Is that how big an auk was?
I don't know.
Okay.
That'd be a mighty big penguin.
What your packing list, was it muddy for hiking boots or fairwear shoes or?
I don't know. Yes.
How many people were in your group, like when you went on a bus or a tour away for the day? Was it 30?
On the last one, there were 100 people on that cruise. The alumni cruise had 100 people, and we had 4 buses, so they kept it to about 25 people per bus. And they broke us into groups so that we all didn't land at the geyser at the same time. They would divide the group up. So better viewing and better access to toilets, because when you got 100 people having to go to the bathroom at the same time.
How many days were you on the ship? And how many
The
stops?
cruise was 7 days, and we went for the pre-tour, so we were there for 3 days ahead of time.
3 on land and then 7 on
Yeah.
the ship?
Yeah.
How many stops would you say the ship made? Every day?
Yeah. Yep, pretty much. Because we had full itineraries. Yeah. City Reykjavik is very, very, very safe. Everybody speaks English. They also speak Icelandic, so they might not talk to you in your, or they might be talking about you in their native language. Very, very friendly. Souvenirs, nice stuff. It's really nice. The Blue Lagoon is another another website you can check out because their skincare products are phenomenal. Their hand lotions and Purity is another. I really like their lotions as well because they use a lot of herbs and minerals, and skincare is just really incredible. So, anything else?
Over here,
Yeah.
when you travel, you said you went in July. Are the waters, as you get closer to the North Pole, are they rougher throughout the year? Is there a comparison between them and more southern routes? I was just wondering if it was stormy travel. Did you have to get seasick or whatever?
Rough seas?
No, didn't have rough seas, didn't get seasick. Because you're cruising immediately around the island. So it's not like you're out in the middle of the Atlantic. I've been on rougher seas in the Pacific. Or going over to London in the Atlantic, yeah. Yeah.
Does the sun, when on those longer days, does the sun go up and then follow the horizon for a bit? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
And that way you got long sunsets and sunsets.
Right.
That's,
You can walk as much as you want, safely, never felt threatened. Yeah.
How many days were you there? How many days of sun?
We only needed the umbrella, 10 days, we only needed the umbrella one time. Cloudy with, like here, you might have clouds, but there'll be peaks of sun. We never had a totally cloudy day. The sun always comes out nicely. Thank you so much.